Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these 3 books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Apollo Plumbing.
I got a bone to pick with you.
Say what?
You're donating service fees.
To Seattle Children's.
All month.
All the way to $20,000.
Right. That's my problem.
Huh?
Your plumbers cleared my drain last month.
Right.
And already replaced my water heater last summer.
And?
Now I have no reason to call Apollo Plumbing.
And yet you are.
I want to help you help Seattle Children's.
But?
I don't need a plumber right now.
Oh, so we can't donate your service fee.
Right.
Got a fix for that.
How?
Visit our website.
Because
we have a donation link there.
Helping Seattle Children's?
Helping them provide patient care, support research, and ensure no child in need is ever turned away.
Love that.
Even if you do call Apollo for help, and we donate your services fee.
Could I donate even more?
Exactly. Benefiting Seattle Children's Hospital.
All this month.
All their service fees.
All the way to $20,000.
Maybe even more with your help.
That's so Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
You can count on the Seattle Times for trusted local news and information. The Seattle Times is one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country right here in the Pacific Northwest. Take a closer look with the Seattle Times. Dig into investigative journalism that holds those in power accountable. Discover a new perspective. Gain a deeper understanding. Learn something new about where we live. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletime.com/subscribe.
You've been wiring pounds to a second wife in London.
It's not what it looks like.
And here she is now.
Sure it isn't.
Hello, darling.
Elizabeth?
Did you know our husband used a bank instead of Wise to send you money?
What an imbecile.
Well,
see, even your secret wife knows that banks are slow and hide fees in overseas transfers.
those cheaters.
If you want to send money overseas, use Wise. They're faster and they don't hide fees.
You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
The real estate market is picking up and you want to sell with the best. You need to work with the Novak team. Mike Novak guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If not, he'll sell it for free. Go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell it for you. Meet the Novaks Novaks.com.
KIRO News Radio has your chance to win 4 tickets to the Seahawks game on Sunday, November 9th. Head to the KIRO News Radio app. Click the Win tab in the bottom right corner and enter to win. You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter through the KIRO News Radio app, the better your odds will be. Do it every day, October 28th through November 3rd. Details and rules at mynorthwest.com/win. From the station where the 12s hear the Hawks, KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
All right, welcome back to the show. Apparently there's some weather coming in. Some weather coming our way for Halloween. I was really surprised that Halloween was on a Friday. It doesn't always fall on a weekend. It always feels like a bonus when you get holidays on weekends, doesn't it?
Party weekend.
It used to mean so much more to me when Halloween or New Year's was on a weekend.
Yeah.
And now it's no different than a normal day.
You've grown up. Look at you.
Yeah, exactly. With kids, it's always the same thing. You're still trying to keep them as tight to a routine as possible.
Yeah. Even when we're young adults, remember when we were Laura's age?
Yeah.
You know?
Before we had any cares in the world.
Right? And a big event fell on a weekend night. It was like, yes!
Hollow weekend, baby.
Exactly.
I got 2
Hollow
costumes
weekend.
planned. I'm going to 2 parties.
Are you doing? Is it a Friday and a Saturday night?
Friday night party, Saturday night party.
That's too much.
I'm hosting
It's too
on
much
Saturday.
partying. Go to bed early. Get some sleep. I would love
I'll
to get
sleep
some
on
sleep.
Sunday.
Yeah.
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Oh.
So bad weather coming this weekend.
Isn't that just part of Halloween in the Northwest? Aren't we used to that?
It's no different than
when you got kids who this is the heyday of trick or treating, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the biggest holiday of the year outside of Christmas, probably. Right? I mean, maybe even bigger. I mean, they just give you candy. That's all this is for. This is
excited.
You get to dress up and live out a fantasy, be your hero.
Yep.
Do you dress the kids accordingly for the weather? I mean, do you
can't
do you
really
steer them away from costumes that you know are just going to become?
You can try to put on like stuff underneath.
Okay.
So you can put on like a sweatshirt if they want to dress up in something. You try to layer.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to deal with all of this stuff too. And
I've dealt with it over the years. Yeah, and I can remember. We've gotten away from the neighborhood trick or treating. When we lived on Queen Anne, it was a lot better than where we are now. The houses are just too spread out.
Yeah.
And now there's these community. You probably do this too. Downtown Edmonds, where we took our kid, my youngest, for the years that they were into trick or treating.
Sure.
6 blocks gets closed down. Every community does this. There's trunk or treating at church parking lots in your area. If it's a small downtown community, business community, they'll close down the streets and the businesses will be the houses kids visit.
Sure.
I can remember seeing so many kids, beautiful costumes under raincoats. You can't tell what the kids are. Poor kids just covered in a big raincoat.
Yeah. You could use an umbrella, I guess, but then they're going to be cold.
And it's parents in the Northwest. I'll show you the worst decision I ever made.
Pictures of you.
This was about 10 years ago. So maybe 12 years ago. My youngest was about 10, 11 years old. And as you can, if you're not watching the video on our YouTube channel, it was the Nightmare Before Christmas. My youngest went as Jack Skellington, and I wanted to go as Jack Skellington with just a big pumpkin. I was going to get a tuxedo and put a big pumpkin head on.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
No. My youngest insisted that I be the Oogie Boogie Man.
It's effective.
From Nightmare. And I made that costume. Out of burlap.
Really?
I made that costume.
That's very well done.
It was. And thank you, YouTube. You can do anything. Yeah. I took out 2 molar teeth and then made that costume following YouTube videos.
YouTube is really true.
It's wonderful.
It's unbelievable, the stuff you can do.
What I didn't count on was a torrential rain that Halloween.
Oh, no. Is that burlap?
It's burlap. I should have been wearing a sponge. That thing got so wet, so heavy, slogging through downtown Edmonds in a driving rain.
Just dragging it on the floor.
It's horrific. It was horrifically.
That's like torture. That would be torture to me.
Yeah.
Just
meanwhile,
in wet burlap.
I'm holding an umbrella.
Yeah.
Over my kid, and I'm out there just taking one for the team.
You getting candy?
Getting candy. I wasn't. Kid was
people coming up to you and
we couldn't make it
for pictures.
We couldn't make it 10 feet without getting stopped to get a photograph, which was flattering. It was wonderful.
Nice picture.
My kid felt like the king of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's very nice. It's a very effective, very good. If anybody's not seeing this, they should. It's on YouTube.
The parents who have kids and you fight the battle. The kids want to be what they want to be. They have heroes. I know you showed me a picture once of all your kids were Jedis.
They all went, yeah.
Amazing.
We've been doing family. We'll do a family theme. Last year we were all Star Wars characters. I think this year everybody's going as something from Harry Potter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I'm supposed to
Cloaks are good. Cloaks are good.
I'm supposed to be Hagrid, which doesn't really. I feel more like I could be a Draco's father.
I was gonna say,
yeah,
kind of Malfoy-esque with the blonde.
Great.
I'd be great at that, but instead I'm going to be a giant fat groundskeeper.
Hagrid, you want to borrow some big clothes? I got big clothes.
My wife ordered it, so I've got a big beard.
You got a beard and a wig? Oh,
everything.
God, please,
it's ridiculous.
Can you share pictures when you guys?
He has a fat face.
He's got a big fat face.
I have a very thin face.
Yeah, he does.
Robbie
Coltrane was the actor. Yeah.
He was a great actor.
Great actor.
Question for you: Did you let your kids eat all their candy in one night, or are they allowed to save it?
Oh no. Who was it? Was it? Oh God, it was somebody in town. They used to bargain their kids. They'd buy their candy. Was it John?
You buy back.
John at a buyback program.
Yeah,
right.
Smart. We started doing that.
We would let our kids have a couple pieces, and kids always trick or treat together, and you swap.
Sure.
You have the big candy swap after you get home.
Make sure you got safe candy though.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you lay it out right. You.
Make sure there's nothing in it.
No,
that's
I know.
never happened that there's ever been anything weird in it, but it does. It is something we
the
all
world
still
we
check
live in,
for.
and that's been that way for time immemorial. I mean, I remember when I was a little kid, my parents wanted to check my candy before we came home.
Make sure there's no razor blades
in apples. Horrible things.
I don't even want to say it's horrible.
I know. Who would do that to a kid?
Insane. All right. Hopefully everybody has a happy Halloween. We got a lot more coming up. Stick around. Travis Couture's coming up next. We'll be right back.
Seattle's morning news.
Hi, I'm Charlie Harder.
And I'm Amanda Factor.
1 week to Election Day.
What will she do as Seattle City Attorney?
Our conversation with challenger Erica Evans.
A monster Category 5 hurricane.
Tracking the damage done by Melissa.
We'll have all the day's top stories, solely with traffic every 10 minutes.
So join us tomorrow, 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Once again, homeowners have voted Valentine Roofing the best roofing company in the Pacific Northwest. That makes 3 years running. This is Jake Skorheim here, and I am confident when that red Valentine van pulls up to your house, you're going to get the Valentine experience. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and a team that always goes the extra mile. Valentine Roofing helps you protect what matters most, and they back every roof with a lifetime warranty. Those are magical words, lifetime warranty. But they do more than just roofs. You may not know that. If you need gutters cleaned or installed, attic insulation, or even exterior cleaning, custom holiday lighting, which is coming up, you can count on the pros at Valentine. If you have a leak in your roof right now, they will help you with their leak stop guarantee. They'll stop the leak in your old roof for free until your brand new Valentine roof can be safely installed, because Valentine doesn't just replace roofs, they protect homes, and they start protecting yours the moment you call. And with flexible financing options, including 0 down and 0% interest, taking care of your home has never been easier. Call 206 Roofing to get your free estimate today. That's 206 Roofing.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hey, Mike Salk here. Who's got family coming to town this holiday season? I know I do. My parents will be staying at my house for a few days over Thanksgiving. And obviously, you want to make sure your home is prepared. You want to present a warm environment. And that starts with a well-heated, properly insulated home. Make sure your insulation is ready for that challenge this year by calling Crawl Pros. They'll come to your house, just like they did at mine, do a free corner-to-corner inspection of your crawl space and your attic. If your home has damaged insulation or no insulation in the attic or crawl space, get it fixed before the cold weather really shows up. If you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yeah, 95%. But you got to act now because many of these rebates are ending at the end of the year, including federal incentives. Call Crawl Pros. They're the crawl space experts, and learn what's going on behind that crawl space and attic hatch for free. Then see what energy rebates you're eligible for. Go to crawlpros.com.
You're halfway through a DIY car fix and boom, you're missing a part. It's okay because whatever it is, it's on eBay and it's guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Hurricane Melissa made landfall in southwestern Jamaica today as one of the most intense storms ever. Meteorologist Craig Allen.
Melissa was still intensifying right up through the very last minute. I really can't begin to stress just how extremely dangerous and life-threatening this situation is.
The storm had sustained winds of 185 miles per hour. Nesifor Mgende is with the Red Cross.
We need to make sure that we save as many lives
lives as possible. We support as many people as possible to get out of harm's way, as well as to get immediate response and support immediately after that.
The hurricane is a slow mover. Meteorologist Andrew Kozak says that will at least give others a chance to prepare.
We're talking after Jamaica, eastern Cuba. We have Haiti that will be brushed from the western edge of this, or the eastern edge of this thing. And then we're talking about Bahamas. Now, the Bahamas are also something we're going to keep our eye on within the next 24 to 36 hours.
In the Middle East, the most serious challenge yet to President Trump's peace plan for Gaza. Israel is accusing Hamas of handing over the remains of a hostage who was actually recovered 2 years ago. Prime Minister Netanyahu has ordered strikes in Gaza. Reporter Frank Gardner.
Israel, its government says they've got evidence. They don't release what it is, but they have got evidence, they say, which has been shared with U.S. officials, that Hamas know where all the remaining hostages are. This foot dragging, this delaying that is really upsetting people.
A federal judge has ordered a senior Border Patrol official to meet her each evening to detail the day's events after weeks of confrontations between immigration agents and the public in Chicago. Legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum.
Clearly, this federal judge does not trust ICE and Customs and Border Protection agents. The judge had issued a temporary injunction where the use of chemical weapons was an automatic violation, and she does not want to hear any excuses.
Day 28 of the government shutdown. The first day air traffic controllers are missing a paycheck. More than 2,000 flight delays, partly due to some calling in sick.
Our number one priority is safety, making sure that we don't have any incidents on our runways or in our skies.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy.
If we have issues, we will slow it down. We will stop it. And so I don't want anyone to think that it's not safe. It's just that you may not be traveling on the schedule that you anticipated because of this government shutdown.
A federal judge today indefinitely barred the administration from firing federal workers during the shutdown. On Wall Street today, stocks finished higher. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A message from air traffic controllers to travelers at SeaTac. But first, KIRO News Radio Traffic. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Heather. We've got an unfortunate update in our collision out in Mason County, just north of Belfair. The collision on southbound 3 and Northwest Flora Road is now a 2-person fatality investigation. This has been closed for about an hour and a half now. Detours are in place. And then our ferry alert continues at the Edmonds-Kingston route. This is still suspended due to a train-car collision at the Edmonds terminal. Our latest update shows this should clear in the next 20 to 30 minutes. Through Des Moines, South 5 at State Route 516, a collision blocks 2 left lanes. You're backed up bumper to bumper for about a mile and a half. Seattle to Fedway will take you 25 minutes, about a 5-minute delay right now. Renton to Auburn, 15 minutes. Southbound 167 is crowded, though, as you approach 180th for about a mile where we have road work. And North 5 near the Tacoma Mall at South 56, a collision has just been moved to your right shoulder. It is now partially blocking that on-ramp, and the freeway is backed up for about a mile. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Heather Bosch.
I think the message is simple. It's just end the shutdown now.
Mark Roush with the Air Traffic Controllers Union says this is the first day in the 28-day government shutdown that they are working without pay. Roush telling travelers at SeaTac Airport today.
We can't expect people that do an honest day's work not get an honest day's pay.
He says it shouldn't be political when the safety of air travelers is at stake. Amazon confirms it's laying off 14,000 corporate-level jobs. Up to 30,000 could ultimately go. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibau says this will affect far more than those getting pink slips.
University of Washington marketing professor Jeff Shulman says it impacts everyone.
What they're going to see in their small businesses and in their restaurants where people are or are not spending money, and what they're going to see in our tax revenue as perhaps our city has to think about cutting some important services with the budget shortfall that this could create.
This would be Amazon's largest layoff since 2022, when the company cut 27,000 jobs.
A suspect accused of fatally shooting a man at the Northgate Light Rail Station is now on the run after he was mistakenly let out of jail in California, where he was arrested after a car chase. 20-year-old Isaiah Jamin Andrews was being held on local charges charges and a homicide warrant out of Seattle. U.S. Marshals are helping in the search. Seattle police rescue a man on fire.
Hey, roll, man, roll. Get on the ground.
The call came in just after 3 Monday morning from an alley near Northeast 45th Street and Brooklyn Avenue Northeast. SPD Detective Eric Munoz says they found a man engulfed in fire running down the alley.
Officers ran towards him with a fire extinguisher and they put him out.
Investigators say the man fell asleep too close to a small fire. You can see the video on mynorthwest.com. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
The organizer of a Halloween event in Roy is facing criticism for hosting a trick-or-treat party despite a severe weather forecast over the weekend. A falling tree killed one person and injured 6. Cassandra Sanchez-Day, an organizer with Centaur Sisters of the Moon, tells KIRO 7 TV.
I know now that those trees are a problem. I didn't know before the cottonwood trees are that big of a problem.
She also expressed condolences for the 31-year-old man who was killed. This weather update brought to you by Stade Roofing and Exteriors. Rain today with highs in the mid-50s. It's 53 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 1 hour down, 2 hours to go. Lots of great stuff coming up. At 2 o'clock, tease ahead to 2 o'clock, we got SPD Chief Sean Barnes who's going to join us, talk a little bit about SROs in schools. There's a mayoral race coming up that I'm sure he's interested in. We're going to ask him who he'd like to see win.
We're going to ask him where he's having lunch. See, there's a jewelry store nearby. No, we won't do that.
If there's a heist happening nearby.
Yeah. Is his car blocking anybody?
So he knows and he's aware of it.
Awful timing.
All right, there is a story that we are very excited to talk about right now, although no other local news outlets seem to be covering this, which is just very confusing to me. The only place I've been seeing it is online, on social media. The story has spread online and on social media. One of the people who I see has a lot of comments on it is Travis Couture. He is a state rep for Washington in the 35th District. He joins us on the show now. Travis, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Awesome, man. All right, so for the audience who may be unaware of this, Charlie Harger broke this great story. It's not a great story. It's a horrible story.
Great reporting broke this horrible story.
Yeah,
How about
great
that?
reporting.
That will do it.
The mayor of Auburn apparently sent a letter to local judge when there was some talk about whether or not this guy Josh Headley, who had been convicted of a child rape, and he requested, can I get a personal email from you? It would really help my case. Maybe a better sentence if I could get some help. He ends up getting a pretty nice letter from the mayor of Auburn. He then gets locked up. He's sent away to jail for only 6 months, which was not great. He's only ended up being locked up for 6 months. He then gets out, and as soon as he gets out, he rebrands himself. He was Joshua Headley before he went in. He was a 27-year-old pastor. The girl that in the incident was 15. And he comes out and rebrands himself as Jay Seeley and goes right back to work with Seeley Media, getting hired by a bunch of local campaigns. You have a Yelm school levy campaign. You have a bunch of local political campaigns that hire this guy.
He was in the marketing business.
Yeah, pictures
in the arena of
stuff.
Public service, whether it be elected officials or school levies, things like that. The kind of folks you would think vet contractors that they hire.
You wouldn't want to hire
in a small community. That should know who they're dealing with. And this guy, like you said, he rebranded himself, didn't register his new identity, which is against the law.
For like 2 years.
Right.
Yeah. So, Travis, when you saw this story, what was your first response to it?
Yeah, first, I knew a little bit about it just maybe a few days before Charlie Harger's article, which was great, by the way. It took me like 20 minutes to read through it. It was really in depth, but it really focused on, as you said, the Auburn mayor, but there was so much more left on the table for the story. And a lot of my constituents cover a part of Thurston County for my district. Have been talking to me about how a lot of the local candidates were hiring Joshua Headley, a convicted child rapist, to work on a lot of local campaigns for city councils, for school board, for public school levy campaigns. And so, I was a little frustrated myself, but also on their behalf because, this story was basically being covered up. Now, the Thurston County Democrat Central Committee knew about this individual as far back as August 25th. And they decided during that meeting when this individual was brought up that they were going to scrub their meeting minutes and basically cover it up and not talk about it anymore. But I can't think of any better example of a complete lack of judgment and character than hiring a convicted child rapist to help do photography and camera work at schools for a campaign for school board in which you're running to serve children. And also to cover it up is wrong. Had they had simply not known who he was when they hired him to do some of this work, that'd be one thing. But they did know at some point, and then they chose, instead of being accountable for it and owning up to it, they decided to essentially cover it up. But we're talking school board races in Tumwater. Like Julie Watts, for example, has hired this individual and hasn't said anything about it. City council candidates like Robert Vanderpool in Olympia and Ryan Siu in Lacey and many others. And now the Yelm school district.
Yes
is
for
saying,
Yelm
hey,
Schools district or campaign.
Right. They said, hey, we never allowed this person on our grounds and we didn't know who he was. And we're not associated with the campaign itself. And the campaign essentially said, hey, we're sickened. We didn't know who this individual was. But I just got a picture actually moments ago taken by Joshua Headley himself and posted to his social media for his Sealy Media LLC business that's showing him doing camera work in front of a school bus at a Yelm public school. Assuming where kids were going to come out of this bus.
I think I may have seen the same photo.
Yeah, I think it's part of Charlie's story.
That's a question that I have. So he's required by law, revised Code of Washington, RCW 9A, blah, 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 blah. Registered sex offender are legally required to report any aliases to law enforcement within 3 business days of use. Failure to comply is a felony. So this went on between what appears in Charlie's story. He details this. There was 2 years between when he began using the Sealy alias and when it was added to the registry, which didn't happen until they started investigating the story. That was on March 17th of 25. If that's a felony, why wasn't this guy picked back up and why wasn't he rearrested?
That's a good question. I think that that's something I'm going to be digging into with local law enforcement and Department of Corrections. I want to know why someone can get away, a registered sex offender can get away with changing their alias and not reporting it, but also being on the grounds of a school where there's kids present, right? Both things are problematic in the law. And you mentioned that, he went to jail for only 6 months. Now, the original crime obviously is the rape of a child that Joshua Headley committed and was guilty of. But the second crime is actually our state law, something called SOSA, SOSSA, for sex offenders. And that crime is that after you've raped a child, you really just get a slap on the wrist. You serve 6 months, and then you go about your life. You change your alias. You don't get caught. And then when you do get caught not reporting your alias change, no one does anything about it. And then you could go do camera work for campaigns on school grounds where there's children present.
That's the part that's so crazy to me. It's not like this guy. Listen, there's people who get out of prison all the time. They've served their time, even though 6 months to me seems like far too few, months in jail. He served the time that he was supposed to. He gets out. It's not like he went and got hired by a liquor store to start taking pictures, for something like that. These are literally school campaigns. And it's all the stuff that he did in between as well while the case is being investigated. He goes and he's the videographer for the Miss Auburn teen pageant. Did you guys see that part of the story? He's the videographer for that. He took some pictures for that.
Was that prior to his conviction?
Prior to his conviction.
Again, I'm not excusing any of this. I mean, because there's so many different elements to this story. Here's a guy who has committed a horrific act, was convicted of this act, and before sentencing, the mayor of Auburn writes him a letter requesting leniency in sentencing. That's enough to make this an outrageous story. Then the guy changed his name and doesn't register.
But it's the failure of the people who should know better. It's the judgment that Travis was talking about just a second ago. In January of 2020, he's formally charged. Prosecutors formally charged him with rape of a child in the third degree. Very, very serious. In November of 2020, months later, he is awarded by the Auburn Chamber of Commerce, Area Chamber of Commerce. He's rewarded Nonprofit of the Year award. His organization, Revive Church, Nonprofit of the Year. How is that possible that they could make such a judgment when they know what this guy's being investigated for? That just doesn't add up to me.
Well, and that's part of the frustration, right? Is many people in our communities feel like if you're a violent sex offender, that you have more rights than the rest of us. And in Washington State, that is sometimes the case where you basically get nothing. In Thurston County, a little bit of context, I've had to fight for the last 3 years to stop placement of sexually violent predators from McNeil Island into communities in Thurston County. I've been successful twice. I'm batting 1,000. But they were trying to put the worst sex predators so bad that they've been deemed they will reoffend if given the chance. Conditionally in these less restrictive alternatives near schools, near playgrounds where kids play, in communities where people have been raped and sexually assaulted. And me and my seatmates were able to stop that, twice now. And then there's still persistent problems in Thurston County. So if you're in Thurston County, the feeling is wow, why are all these violent sex offenders running free? There was even a South Thurston person a couple of years ago who was convicted of or was charged with raping his stepdaughter over the course of many years. Jeez. And basically didn't even get any bail, and the judge in Thurston County released him on his own recognizance into the same community of his victim. And so, it is unbelievable. And so there's this feeling among many in Thurston County that the sex offenders and the sex predators run free and we're not safe from them, and nobody in government, or very few in government, are trying to keep us safe from them. And it's sad. And one of the reasons why I am the one to kind of bring this story to light is because there are so many people that are deathly afraid to voice their public opinions about what's going on with Joshua Headley and these campaigns and all these other things, for fear of backlash. Some of them moderate Democrats who have reached out to me, some of them who were at this Democrat Central Committee and witnessed what had happened, and some who are just concerned citizens that want the best for their kids' public schools, with their school boards, who are afraid of the kind of politics in Olympia that prevails. That could be, sometimes violent and sometimes, very retaliatory. And so I'm not afraid of anything. And so that's why I'm doing this. I'm standing up for my constituents and people in Thurston County who deserve to know the truth, because the fact is that if you hire somebody and elect them to be a school board director, that's a 4-year term. And if they were trying to cover it up because the election's just around the corner here in another week and a half, 2 weeks, then that's wrong. And that's electioneering. And people should know the truth. And if a candidate legitimately didn't know who Joshua Headley was, the right thing to do would be come out and condemn that and say that they didn't know.
Yeah, apologize. Nobody's going to hold that against you. Yeah,
I would hold it against them.
Have any of them done that? Have any of them done that, Representative? Have any of them done that? Condemned this individual and said this guy was changed his alias and didn't register. These different candidates and initiatives hired this media company. Is there any credibility that they didn't know who they were actually hiring? That they were hiring Jay Seeley and didn't know it was Mr. Headley?
There is a guy named Rob Richards. He's kind of the Democratic Socialist. He runs a lot of campaigns in Seattle and over in the Olympia area. And he had hired Josh Headley, and then he runs a lot of these campaigns as a consultant for them. And he knew about it, and but doesn't want his candidates to say anything just right before an election anyway. They all knew about it back on August 25th, well over a month ago, and still said nothing about it. They were given chances to say something about it and didn't, and they decided to cover it up anyway. But to my knowledge, and to your first question, the only kind of campaign or entity that has said, hey, we didn't know, we condemn this in the fullest sense of the term, is the Yelm School District and the campaign for the Yelm levy, which is two separate things, but they work together, obviously, to pass the levy. So I know that they have at least kind of went and said, hey, we're sick to our stomach about this. We didn't know. We were basically led blind into this, and we condemn it in the strongest possible terms.
That's the very least that they could have said.
Right.
I mean, obviously they should have vetted a little bit better before you hired a convicted child rapist to work on a school campaign. Speaking of schools, let's get to something else really fast. You have a bill. I'm very interested in this because I think I'm a huge school choice advocate. I think this is a great idea. Tell us a little bit about this bill that you have right now.
Yeah, it's House Bill 1140. It'll be automatically reintroduced next session in January. We did have a public hearing on it, which was amazing, given the balance of power in Olympia. You would think you'd never hear a school choice bill with almost a Democratic supermajority, but we did. It was great. We had experts from across the country come in and testify why school choice is becoming more and more popular across the country. Over 34 states now with school choice policies. And what I did is I took all of the different school choice policies across the nation, I analyzed them, and I found all of their faults and all of their problems, and I fixed them, and I put them into one bill.
Nice.
So often there's nationally people who are experts in this space consider House Bill 1140 to be the Taj Mahal, the Shangri-La of school choice bills, because I took all of the flaws and I fixed them. And so what it actually does is it creates educational savings accounts. And if you go and say, hey, I want to do school choice, and there's a certain amount of money in the pot, which, by the way, does not come from public schools. I've set this up so it does not take a penny from public schools, which is one of the common misconceptions. And if you are awarded, oftentimes we're going to be prioritizing special needs kids, which are people who have been failed a lot in our public schools, or low-income kids who are locked by their zip code into certain districts where they are, set against an ability to succeed, or kids who are locked into failing schools. But certainly anyone, foster kids, for example, would be at the top of this list. But anyone could apply for this educational savings account. And what the parent gets is a certain amount of money per year to spend on any qualifying educational related expenses. It could be tuition, books, uniforms, travel, all sorts of different things, anything a public school would actually pay for right now. And what they get is basically a debit card connected to that education savings account, and they could swipe that card for their kids' expenses. And this would allow them to not be locked in by their zip code. It allows them to be free and choose the kind of school system that best fits their family and their child. And it's this kind of freedom what I think our country is all about. And it's not to say some people would still choose public schools, but you'd be able to use this ESA to go to private school, to do homeschool, to do micro schooling, or some kind of trade school, and it would roll over your other.
Could you? I'm sorry, Travis. We're really short on time. I saw this education savings. I think it's a fantastic idea. You said you've kind of looked at the other different school choice efforts across the country, and you corrected some of the mistakes that were things that people were opposed to in those. A lot of which is if oftentimes the school choice funding comes from public school funding. It's taken from that, and you've eliminated that, which I think is fantastic. The question is, though, if a kid is in, like you said, a school system that isn't delivering for the family, can these funds be used by that family if they can't get accepted into a private school and they're forced to be in that public school that's failing the kids? Can they use these savings accounts to pay for tutoring, as you mentioned, different educational aids that'll help a kid in a bad school district or a bad school situation do better? Is that going to be available to those type families as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It would be available for that or any kind of educational style tutoring or therapy. Those are all qualifying education related expenses.
Fantastic.
And if you couldn't make it into a private school, you could choose to use this for homeschool as well and buy books and curriculum with it to assist your homeschool adventure. But yeah, I mean, this is the kind of freedom that people want, and they want it easy and accessible. And On the funding note, what I did was create like the first in the nation. Basically, the taxpayers can freely choose when they pay their B&O taxes, just like they do in the Main Street program. If they want to send money to ESAs or if they want to send it to the general fund in Olympia, it doesn't take a penny from public schools. They're already allocated.
Send it to ESA.
No, I love this.
That's great.
I'm a very big proponent of public schools. I know we do a terrible job with the money that we allot to public education. We need to do better. But I love your solution here. I really do. And it's coming from me. Jake will tell you, it's saying a lot.
That's high
well
praise,
done.
Travis.
Congratulations.
Well done. That's Travis Couture. He is the Republican representative from the 35th District. Travis, we really appreciate your time and opinions on all this stuff, and we'd love to have you back on.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Have a great day. We're going to send him off, and we got a lot more coming up. That's a smart idea.
It's a great idea. I got to hand it to him. It's a great idea.
Love it. If you win Spike over, you're winning everybody over. Spike is the common man.
I'm a hard get.
He is. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
Looking for even more Seahawks content? Then you gotta check out The Reset. Hey, it's G. Scott, and every week, me and my co-host and Seahawks great Brandon Meebane talk Seahawks. We break down the matchups, and we're joined by former Seahawks players.
From Lakewood to Lombardi, Seahawks champion, my main man, Jermaine Kearse.
What up, G? Watch The Reset live on YouTube or subscribe on the Seattle Sports app.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Crawl space and attics are not places you want to spend much time, but many homes in our area can have serious issues behind the hatches. Hi, it's the owner of Crawl Pros, Richard Herron. For years, you've heard us talking about how we go where you don't want to. With our free corner-to-corner inspection to keep your crawl space and attic well insulated and free of mold and water. You've also heard about the pest control division of our company to keep your home bug and critter free. I'm excited to tell you about our newest division, Plumber Pros. Plumber Pros takes the same customer-first approach to plumbing that we do with our crawl space, attic, and pest control work. We've handpicked skilled plumbers that I know you'll feel comfortable inviting into your home. So next time you run into plumbing issues, from leaky faucets and clogged drains to full home repipes and sub pump installations, call Crawl Pros and we'll get our plumbing division, Plumber Pros, out to get it resolved. For anything related to your crawl space, attic, pest control, or plumbing, call Crawl Pros or visit us at crawlpros.com.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions. 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com.
Upgrade your home comfort and save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great savings plus free financing on heat pumps, water heaters, generators, and more, our award-winning team has what you need to stay cozy this chilly season at a cost you're comfortable with. Voted best in the Pacific Northwest, we're honored to be your dedicated home comfort company since 1957. Call Bob's and save today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than the tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granello. One of the strongest storms on record is unleashing catastrophic winds and flooding in Jamaica. Hurricane Melissa made landfall this morning as a Category 5 storm with maximum sustained winds of 185 miles per hour. Andrew Swaby is the mayor of Kingston, Jamaica's capital.
In the western part of Jamaica, the Montego Bay, the St. Elizabeth, those are the parishes that are, based on what I'm seeing on social media, have been heavily hit.
Melissa is set to reach Cuba later tonight as a Category 4 hurricane. Millions of Americans face losing federal food benefits as soon as this weekend due to the government shutdown. CBS's Allison Keyes explains.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says there's money to keep funding the food stamps program known as SNAP, but
Republicans are now threatening to weaponize hunger.
Republicans accuse Democrats of supporting their angry left supporters, but this woman says SNAP isn't just a government program for her. It protects her life.
It is a lifeline.
Air traffic controllers are deciding.
Do I put food on the table? Do I pay gas?
Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
About 900,000 residents in our state rely on SNAP. Now, Washington has joined 25 states and D.C. in suing the Trump administration for suspending the program. They argue there are contingency funds to pay for SNAP, but the administration is choosing not to use them. The closing bell report now. Amazon confirming it is cutting 14,000 corporate jobs. CBS's Kelly O'Grady says the company is streamlining operations as it relies more on artificial intelligence.
I mean, I visited one of those most technologically advanced warehouses a couple of months ago. You had robots working hand in hand with humans. We talked to executives. They said, yes, AI, automation, it is going to mean less jobs in some areas, but more jobs in other areas. And that's what you're seeing today.
In a message to employees today, the company signaled additional cutbacks could come in 2026. On Wall Street, shares of Amazon jumped 1%. The rest of Wall Street was up, Dow gaining 161, NASDAQ ahead 190, S&P 500 gained 16 points. Now to the real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. Let's update you on our Mason County Belfair closure on southbound 3. Still closed in both directions at Northwest Flora Road, where we have a fatality investigation ongoing. Detours are in place, but they are lengthy. The Edmonds-Kingston Ferry route is back in service following an hour of suspension due to an earlier train-car collision. Here in Seattle, South 5 slows from the Ship Canal Bridge into downtown. Not bad at all. In Des Moines, South 5 at State Route 516. A collision still blocks your HOV lane, opening up a lane. Still about a mile and a half backup. Seattle to Federal Way, plan on 25 minutes. South 405 beginning to fill in now between Factoria and Renton. Bellevue to Renton's at 15 minutes. And North 5 near the Tacoma Mall at South 56th. You're crowded for about a mile approaching this area from an earlier crash. Olympia to Tacoma's at 35 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Your forecast brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Pockets of some light showers at times today, but mostly dry and gray skies. Highs this afternoon in the mid-50s. Right now, looking at 53 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. We're trying to iron out some technological difficulties. We're very excited. Brandy Cruz, our very own Brandy Cruz, I guess formerly our very own. She's gone off to big things and exciting times. She's in the White House at times. Brandy Cruz is going to join us just a second. She's got this amazing story about something that's happening right now inside Washington's Community Reinvestment Program. She was contacted by a whistleblower who said, hey, we should look into this program. I've been looking into it for months and compiling some information that leads this whistleblower to believe that there might be some not good things happening.
There's some. This is a shocking story that Brandy's Undivided brings to us, and it unveils what seems to be inside dealing. What seems to be, misappropriation of your tax dollars?
It's a crazy story. Brandy had it on Undivided. Brandy Cruz, who does join us now by phone. Brandy, welcome to the show.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello. Great to hear your voice.
Well, let's stop right there. Let's call it what it is. It's Jake and some other guy. It's not gentlemen. No, I'm kidding. It's good to have you on.
Brandy, this story you got on Undivided right now, people should check this out. Kind of amazing that this is happening. I can't say it's a massive surprise because these things do tend to happen when you throw a lot of money at something with very little safety checks, it seems. But tell us a little bit about how the story came to you and where the scandal's at.
Yeah, and I agree with your assessment there. I think one of the things that allows for this is one-party rule. And one-party rule is dangerous no matter what party is in power. But when you really don't have any checks and balances, truly, you can kind of get away with stuff like this. And so I think exposing it and almost forcing there to be an assessment of where we can add checks and balances is important. So this story came to me from a whistleblower who was a real estate broker, a managing broker. And she's half black, half white. And I do think that her race is important for the story because this was a program that was built around this idea of equity, which is a word I just don't believe in. But, and I have my own personal opinions on the, money that our state has spent on equity-driven programs. Sure. So this was one of the programs that came out, that was pushed through the legislature post-George Floyd in this era of race and social justice. And it's called the Community Reinvestment Program. And it was supposed to help people who were disproportionately impacted by the war on drugs. So it was basically initially a $200 million pot of money that would be sent out to BIPOC nonprofits that would contract through the state. And their job was to distribute this money to members of the Black community and a list of like 5 or 6 other races, essentially. And the money could be used for things like down payment assistance, debt forgiveness, small business loans. So the idea was get this money in the hands of communities of color that were disproportionately impacted by the war on drugs.
So the money goes out. And your whistleblower she's a real estate agent. Is that right? Her name is Corey Orvold?
Yeah, Corey Ovold. So she's a real estate agent, and she was excited at first about the program as someone who had volunteered for 8 years with the Tacoma Urban League, and really saw this as an opportunity to help people who look like her build generational wealth. And so she was very on board with the program to begin with. But then she started to get suspicious about it very quickly. So at the beginning of 2025, she'd have individuals who she was working with, clients as a real estate agent, and she'd say, hey, did you know that you could possibly qualify for down payment assistance through this program?
Unbelievable.
And
great news. Yeah.
Great. She'd send them, you have to apply through one of the nonprofits like the Seattle Metropolitan Urban League or the Tacoma Urban League, and you can get these funds. But then the clients kept coming back to her and saying, well, actually, they said I have to work with one of their preferred lenders or brokers, so I can't work with you. And so, of course, she's getting annoyed, right? Because those are her clients, which that's how she makes money as a real estate broker. She's going to get a percentage. And so she starts to look into it. And the deeper she dug, the more she found. And she found many, many examples of just blatant self-dealing within the program. For example, there's the daughter of the Director of Financial Empowerment for the Urban League of Seattle Metropolitan King County that got $350,000 in free, quote unquote, taxpayer money toward buying a home.
Wow.
There's a HUD certified housing counselor who also works for the Urban League of Seattle, who got $49,800 in consumer debt paid with this taxpayer money. So there are many examples, and our story only touches the surface. There are many examples of self-dealing where the nonprofits that were tasked with getting this money out to the communities of color they're supposed to serve were either keeping the money for themselves or for their family members or sending business to their friends.
The crazy part about this story is you could make an argument one way or the other, the initial value of the program. People have opinions about that, but the money was given. So now it has to be used. And the people that they're harming now, as you've looked into this, are all the people who have been turned away, are they all people inside the communities of color?
Well, of course, that's who applies. Yeah.
Right. And it's really shocking, especially after the story published. We knew that there would be a lot of people reaching out because, as I said, in order to make this story digestible, we chose one of the nonprofits. And we decided to stick to that and explain the self-dealing within that one nonprofit. But there are dozens of nonprofits implicated in the information that our whistleblower gathered. So we know there's a lot of other there. But there's a woman who's quoted in our story, her son, 27-year-old black man. She said, my son has never been in trouble. He went to college, graduated from college. He's been employed in some form or fashion since he was 16 years old. This is literally the kind of person who you'd want to help through a program like this.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, he goes through all of this with the Seattle Urban League and is basically turned away. And what we found out is at the same time they're turning away other community members who are being told, oh, we ran out of money, or, oh, your application, isn't approved. They're approving loans, gifts, debt repayment for people who are well connected, for people who are connected to them in some way, like a family member or an actual employee. So yeah, while they're turning away other community members of color, they are keeping the money for people who are tied to them.
Well, see, Brandy, this is a shocking story because, I, for one, believe in the equity programs that the city puts in place, whether it's the equity toolbox that the city uses to make sure that new legislation doesn't disproportionately affect communities who have been systemically, oppressed. It's a harsh word, I know, but disadvantaged, I think, may be a fairer, more palatable word for people. What this program is been subjected to is just corruption. I mean, this is insider dealing. This is directing people to work through specific brokers or realtors, who are getting an incredibly disproportionate amount of business and making money. Family members given priority, and it keeps opportunity from people who deserve this help from our government.
Yeah, and you could argue, and as the Urban League of Seattle did in a statement to us, well, hey, some of our people, need and would qualify based on income for this stuff, so shouldn't they be able to access it? My answer would be they can get it from somewhere else. There are multiple of these nonprofits. So let's say you have a mom who works as the financial empowerment director for the Urban League, but you really need help buying a house and you qualify because of your skin tone. then go to the Tacoma Urban League, go to Bird Bar Place, go to one of the other many nonprofits across the state, just so there's not a perceived conflict of interest.
Yeah, it looks bad when your mom is approving things for you.
It doesn't look bad. It is. It is bad.
Yeah.
Brandy,
you
cite one individual who received like multiple different loans. You mentioned totaling up to $350,000 from different programs.
Think about that.
No, I get it. That's triple dipping, quadruple dipping. Isn't that against the law? I mean, isn't that just?
It should be if it's.
Good.
It should be if it's not, and when you think about that, and that's why I go back to the fairness, and I just disagree with the equity element because no matter what the color of your skin is, there are a lot of people struggling to buy a home in Washington State, and so this young woman, just because of her skin pigmentation, she was able to quadruple dip. She got $250,000 in community reinvestment program funds. She got another $100,000 through the Covenant Homeownership Program, which is a reparations program. So her actual loan on a $460,000 home is $89,000. Think of how many people you could have helped with that amount of money. And so, I disagree with that you should get a loan based on skin pigmentation because, if you can't prove that you were actually discriminated against by the government. But there's a lot of home buyers of all colors who would love even $10,000 toward helping them buy a home. And you're giving one person who's the daughter of someone at the Urban League in control of this program $350,000. It's insane.
It is insane.
It's criminal. It is criminal.
It's great reporting, Brandy. You guys should go check it out on undivided.com. Follow her on X. She's a great follow on X. I'm sorry. What is it again?
Undividedpod.com.
Undividedpod.com. I apologize.
Get it right.
Undividedpod.com. That's my fault. Brandy, thank you so much for making the time. We really do appreciate it, and great reporting.
Thank you.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We're going to be right back.
The Closing Bell is brought to you by Trajan Wealth Management.
Seattle's morning news.
Hi, I'm Charlie Harder.
And I'm Amanda Factor.
1 week to Election Day.
What will she do as Seattle City Attorney?
Our conversation with challenger Erica Evans.
A monster Category 5 hurricane.
Tracking the damage done by Melissa.
We'll have all the day's top stories, solely with traffic every 10 minutes.
So join us tomorrow, 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited